Greetings! Mandatory79 here, and welcome back to another deck profile video for Cardfight Vanguard Tier Days! Alright, let's get started. Pressing the A button now. Loading game and proceeding. Here we are in the main menu, going to edit deck menu. And now in today's video, the deck profile I'm going to be making one for is a Dark States, Master of Gravity, Baromagnes, D-BT03. And first, I'm going to be using this Dark States, Master of Gravity, Baromagnes, D-BT02 deck as the base for the deck I'm going to build. Alright, let's begin. Going to edit deck, and off we go. Here we are. And like I just mentioned before, the deck I'm building in today's deck profile video is a Dark States, Master of Gravity, Baromagnes deck, made of only cards available up until D-BT03. So first up, let's go to filter settings, pack, show only cards from D-BT01, Genesis of the 5 Greats, D-BT02, A Brush with the Legends, D-BT03, Advance of the Intertwined Stars, and Festival Collection 2021, apply filter. Alright, so first let's begin with the Grade 3 lineup. For the Grade 3s of this deck we're playing right deck, Grade 3, Master of Gravity, Baromagnes. Its skill, auto as a Vanguard. When this unit attacks, counterblast 1. If the cost been paid, perform all of the following according to the number of cards in your soul. 5 or more, draw a card. 10 or more, this unit gets plus 10,000 power and plus 1 critical until end of battle. 15 or more, both you and your opponent put all of your own rear guards into your souls. Choose up to 2 cards from your soul, call them to rear guard circle, and those units get plus 10,000 power until end of turn. So for Baromagnes, he's the main Grade 3 to run in this deck. His skill, when attacking, by paying a counterblast of 1, you activate the effects according to the number of cards in your soul. With 5 or more, you draw a card. 10 or more, plus 10,000 power and critical to your Vanguard. 15 or more, all rear guards on both players' field go to their souls, and you get to call 2 new rear guards. And the 2 called rear guards get plus 10,000 power, so ideally, Baromagnes' skill is best used when you've managed to stack up a large number of cards in your soul. Ideally, at least 10 or more to get the plus 10,000 power and plus 1 critical. And also, the 15 or more will let you get 2 more attackers, depending on what card you call with these skills. So, with Baromagnes, it's a good way to restock your hand with the 5 or more skill, increase your Vanguard's power and critical with the 10 or more skill, and give yourself 2 more attacks to work with the 15 or more skill. So, for Baromagnes, we got 4 in the deck, 1 the right deck, keeping it that way. Next up, the Grade 3, Phantasma Magician Curtis, skills. For skill, when this unit is placed in a rearguard circle, if your Vanguard's Master of Gravity Baromagnes, Soul Charge 2. Second skill, action as a rearguard. If your soul is 10 or more cards, counterblast 2. If the cost been paid, all of your front row units get plus 5,000 power until end of turn. So for Curtis, he's a support card for the Baromagnes deck. His first skill, just by calling him to the rearguard while you're on Vanguard's Baromagnes, you get a Soul Charge 2. So for this first skill, it's a good way to stock up your soul to activate Baromagnes' high soul requiring skills. And the second skill, by paying a counterblast of 2 while you have 10 or more cards in your soul, you'll be able to give your entire front row, both Vanguard and rearguard, a little extra power to work with. So for Curtis, we got 4 in the deck, keeping it that way. Next up, the Grade 3, Supernatural Extraction. Not going to play this card anymore, so taking 2 out. And now, next up, the Grade 2 lineup. For the Grade 2s of this deck we're playing right deck, Grade 2, Electro Spartan. Its skills are, for skill, auto. When this unit is ridden upon by Master of Gravity Baromagnes, cost, put a card from your hand into your soul. If the cost been paid, draw a card and Soul Charge 1. Second skill, auto. When this unit is placed in the rearguard circle, counterblast 1. If the cost been paid, Soul Charge 2. So for Electro Spartan, he's the main Grade 2 to run this deck. His first skill, just by riding Baromagnes on top of him, as long as you don't mind putting a card from your hand to the soul, you get to draw a new card from your deck and also Soul Charge 1. So for Spartan, it's a good way to stock up your soul for Baromagnes' high soul requiring skills with the first skill. And the second skill, just by calling Spartan to your rear guard, by paying a counterblast of 1, you get a Soul Charge 2. So just like the first skill, this second skill is a good way to stack up your soul to activate Baromagnes' high soul requiring skills. So for Spartan, we got 3 in the deck, 1 the right deck, keeping it that way. Next up, the Grade 2, Selfish Engraver. Skills are, for skill, auto as a rear guard. When this unit attack hits, Soul Charge 1, second skill, auto as a rear guard. At the end of the battle, this unit attacked. If your soul has 10 or more cards, put this unit into your soul. If the cost is paid, counter charge 1. So for Selfish Engraver, she's a pretty decent card to play in your Dark State Stations decks, especially for Baromagnes. Her first skill, just by landing an attack on either an opponent's Vanguard or rear guard, you can soul charge 1. So for this first skill, it's a good way to stock up your soul for Baromagnes' skill. And the second skill, after attacking, regardless if it hits or not, as long as your Vanguard has 10 or more soul, if you don't mind moving Engraver from your rear guard into your soul, you can counter charge 1. So for the second skill, it's a good way to refund your counter blast for later skills. So for Engraver, we got 3 in the deck, putting 1 in, we're playing 4 in the deck. Next up, the Great 2, Crimson Expeller, not going to play this card anymore, taking 4 out. And we're putting in, let's see, the Great 2, Steam Mage, Ashur-da. Skills are, first skill, continuous as a guardian. If your soul has 7 or more cards, this unit gets plus 5,000 shield. Second skill, auto. When this unit is retired from the guardian circle, you may put this card into your soul. So for Ashur-da, he's a pretty decent card to play in your Dark State Stations decks, especially for Baromagnes. His first skill, just by guarding while you have 7 or more cards in your soul, you get plus 5,000 shield, making Ashur-da a 10,000 point shield all on his own. And the second skill, after being retired from the Guardian Circle, you can put this card into your soul. So ideally, this second skill will allow Ashur-da to be put into your soul after using the guard, which works well with the first skill, which adds up to its shield. So overall, Ashur-da is a good card to guard with and to stock up your soul for Baromagnes later on. So for Ashur-da, we're playing 4 in the deck. Okay, next up, the Great 2, Keenly Loathly, skill, auto. When this unit is placed on the rear guard circle, if your Vanguard is Master of Gravity Baromagnes, counterblast 1. If the cost been paid, choose any number of normal units from your soul, and this unit gets plus 5,000 power until end of turn for each card chosen. Return all of the chosen cards to your deck and shuffle it. Cards on the right deck are returned to the right deck face up. So for Keenly Loathly, she's another support card for the Baromagnes deck. Her skill, just by calling her to the rear guard while your Vanguard is Baromagnes. By paying a counterblast of 1, you can choose any normal units from your soul, and then your Keenly Loathly gets plus 5,000 power for each chosen card. Then the chosen cards are returned to your deck at the end of the skill's activation. So for Keenly Loathly, she's a good way to more or less power up herself to make herself a powerful front row attacker for your rear guard, and to also restock your deck in case you're about to deck out from using up all the cards in your deck. So for Keenly Loathly, we're going to be playing 2 of her, okay? And now, for the Great 1 lineup, for the Great 1s in this deck, we're playing right deck, Great 1, Deep Sonicer, skill, first skill, auto. When this unit is placed in the Vanguard circle, soul charge 1. Second skill, continuous as a rear guard. During your turn, if your soul has 10 or more cards, this unit gets plus 10,000 power. So for Deep Sonicer, he's the main Great 1 to run this deck. His skills are, first skill, just by riding Sonicer into your Vanguard, you soul charge 1. So in the long run, this first skill is a good way to soul charge early to get ready for Baromagnes' high soul requiring skills later on. And the second skill, as a rear guard, as long as you've got 10 or more cards in your soul, Deep Sonicer gets plus 10,000 power. So with this second skill, it's a good way to make your Deep Sonicer a very powerful attacker and booster from the back row with a base power of 18,000 power as long as you meet the requirements. So for Sonicer, we got 4 in the deck, 1 in the right deck, keeping it that way. Next up, the Great 1, Recusal Hate Dragon, Sentinel, Perfect Guard. Skills are, first skill, continuous, Sentinel, second skill, auto. When this unit is put in the Guardian Circle, choose one of your units and it cannot be hit until the end of the battle. If your hand has 2 or more cards, choose a card from your hand and discard it. So for Recusal Hate Dragon, he's a perfect guard for the Dark State Nation. Like any other perfect guard in the Cardfight Vanguard trading card game, it features the same skill and activation. When used to guard with, by discarding a card from your hand, you can completely block 1 enemy attack. But he also has the ability unique to all these standard format perfect guards. When used to guard with while you have less than 2 cards in hand, you will not have to pay the usual discard 1 cost, making Recusal Hate a no-cost perfect guard in desperate last resort situations. So for Recusal Hate, we got 4 in the deck, keeping it that way. Next up, the Great 1, Freeze Breeze. Skill is auto as a rear guard. When the attack this unit boosted hits, if your Vanguard is Master of Gravity Baromagnes, Soul Charge 1, and if your Soul has 10 or more cards, Counterblast 1, draw 2 cards. So for Freeze Breeze, she's another support card for the Baromagnes deck, just by boosting a successful attack on either an opponent's Vanguard or Rear Guard. With Baromagnes as your Vanguard, not only can you Soul Charge 1, but after the Soul Charge, if you have 10 or more cards in your Soul, by playing a Counterblast with 1, you can draw 2 cards. So for Freeze Breeze, it's a good way to stock up your Soul for more Soul cards to later activate Baromagnes' skill, but to also increase your hand size after playing the Counterblast of 1. So for Freeze Breeze, let's see. We got 2, so keeping 2. The Great One, Cyclone Circler, not going to play this anymore, taking 3 out. And next up, what else can we put in this deck? Okay, next up we're going to put in the Great One, Steam Battler Gunrum. Skills are, first skill, auto. When this unit is placed in the rear guard circle, Soul Charge 1, second skill, action, as a rear guard, once per turn, Soul Blast 3, if the cost him paid, draw a card. So for Gunrum, it's a pretty decent card to play in your Dark Space Nations decks. The first skill, just by calling to the rear guard, you can Soul Charge 1. So for this first skill, it's a pretty good rear guard to have to build up your soul for Soul Blast skills. For example, Baromagnes, who requires you to have a high number of cards in your soul. And the second skill, by Soul Blasting 3, you can draw a card. So Gunrum is a good way to also restock your hand with more cards to call or guard with later on. So for Steam Battler Gunrum, we're putting 2, okay. And next up, the Great Zero lineup. For the Great Zeros this deck we're playing, Ride Deck, Great Zero, Uncanny Burning, Skill, Auto. When this unit is ridden upon, if you went second, draw a card. So Uncanny Burning is more or less the starter unit of this deck. Just by riding on top of it, if you went second, draw a card. So we've got 1 to Ride Deck, keeping it that way. And now for the trigger lineup. For the triggers to this deck, we're playing the Great Zero, Flinty Slasher, Critical Trigger, playing 4, keeping it that way. Next up, Great Zero, Vital Lever, draw a trigger. Not going to play this anymore, taking it out. And replacing it with the Great Zero, Stem Deviate Dragon, Critical Trigger, Skill, Auto as a rear guard. At the end of the battle, this unit boosted. Cost, put this unit into your soul. If the cost is paid, choose one of your units. It gets plus 2,000 power until end of turn. So for Stem Deviate, it's a pretty powerful critical trigger to play in your Dark Space Nations decks. Its skill just by boosting an attack regardless of hits or not. As long as you don't mind moving Stem Deviate from your rear guard into your soul, any unit on your field, Vanguard or rear guard, gets plus 2,000 power. So overall, Stem Deviate is a good way to not only increase your soul for later Soul Blasts or high soul requiring skills, but to also give your remaining attackers a little extra power to work with. So for Stem Deviate, we're playing 4, okay. Next up, the Great Zero, Diabolos Girls Natalia. Front trigger, skill, continuous as a guardian. If your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, this unit gets plus 5,000 shield. So for Natalia, she's a pretty powerful front trigger to play in your Dark Space Nations decks. Her skill, just by guarding with her while your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, she gets plus 5,000 shield, making Natalia a 20,000 point shield all on her own. So for Natalia, we got 4 in the deck, taking 1 out, we're playing 3. Next up, the Great Zero, Steam Scara, Malnigal, Heal Trigger. We got 4 in the deck, keeping it that way. And finally, the Great Zero, Hades Dragon, Deity of Resentment, Galmech Hell, Over Trigger, Skill, Trigger, Additional Effect. You get during your turn, all of your Vanguards get plus 10,000 power and plus 1 critical until the end of the fight. So for Galmech Hell, he's the Over Trigger for the Dark Space Nation. Like any other Over Trigger in the Cardfight Vanguard trading card game, it features the same skill and activation. When revealed during a drive check or damage check, you get 100 million power and draw a card, but it also features an ability unique to him. When revealed during a drive check on your turn, for the remainder of the fight, during your turn, your Vanguard gets plus 10,000 power and plus 1 critical. So for Galmech Hell, ideally, he's best used when revealed as soon as possible in a drive check on your turn. For the moment you get him on a drive check on your turn, your Vanguard will get plus 10,000 power and plus 1 critical until the remainder of the fight. So for Galmech Hell, the sooner you reveal him your Vanguard's attack, the better. So for Galmech Hell, we got 1 in the deck, keeping it that way. And now The deck has been built, card effects explained, so let's get on to saving the deck. Overwrite deck being built, yes. Okay, so for the cards in this deck we're playing 4, Grade 3, Master of Gravity, Baromagnes. 4, Grade 3, Phantasma Magician, Curtis. 3, Grade 2, Electro Spartan. 4, Grade 2, Selfish Engraver. 4, Grade 2, Steam Mage Ashur-da. 2, Grade 2, Keenly Lowly. 2, Grade 1, Steam Battler Gungram. 4, Grade 1, Recusal Hate Dragon. 4, Grade 1, Deep Sonicer. 2, Grade 1, Freeze Breeze. 1, Grade 0, Uncanny Burning. And for the triggers to this deck, we're playing 8 critical triggers, 3 front triggers, 4 heal triggers, and finally 1 over trigger, Gamma Hell. Alright, the deck has been built, card effects explained, so now it's time to test out the deck, but before that, let's just change the deck sleeves. For the main deck sleeves, we're going to keep using the Dark States Nation sleeve as the main deck sleeve, and for the right deck sleeve, we're replacing it with, let's see. Alright, using the Team Setsu Getsugut sleeve as the right deck sleeve, press Y. Alright, deck built, card effects explained, card sleeves changed. Now it's time to test out the deck, so leaving the edit deck menu, and back to main menu, to fight menu, CPU fight, choosing the deck I just built, the Master of Gravity, Baromagnes, D-BT03 deck. And now choosing an opponent. For my opponent in this fight, I'm going to be going up against, let's see. Alright, I'm going up against Doshi Nakano, normal difficulty. And the battle begins, get started. Alright, here we are, so we're deciding who goes first. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Scissors to scissors, one more time. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Rock to paper, I lose, going second, alright. So first, drawing our starting hands. Okay, I got a front trigger, a critical trigger, a Ashur-da, Baromagnes, and a perfect guard, okay. Obviously, I should hold on to the perfect guard and the Baromagnes to persona right with, so I guess I can hold on to the Ashur-da, so my only options are to redraw the 2 triggers. Okay, setting these 2 back, redraw. Not bad. I got Ashur-da and Deep Sonicer, okay. My opponent's turn, he rides the Great One, Nigel. Now it's my turn. I draw. Okay, riding for my right deck, Deep Sonicer. For the right deck cost, let's see. I got 2 Ashur-das, a Baromagnes, Perfect Guard, Sonicer, and Curtis, alright. I should hold on to the Curtis to soul charge with later, so I'll discard the Ashur-da in my hand for the right deck cost. Right, Deep Sonicer, base skill, I draw a card. What did I draw? I drew a critical trigger, alright. Then activate Strike Sonicer skill, soul charge 1. I soul charged a engraver, alright. Now let's see. Should I call Sonicer or just go straight to Vanguard? Let's see. I guess I'll go straight to the battle phase, just going with my Vanguard for now. Vanguard to Vanguard, 8k. Drive check. No trigger, okay. 1 damage, here it comes. And damage check. Yes, critical trigger, he wasted a trigger. I made the right choice not calling me in regards, so... Okay, effects wasted, and now it's the end of my turn, my opponent's turn. My opponent rides the Great 2, Randor, Nigel's skill, he soul charges a, yes, a critical, wasted a trigger. He calls 2 rear guards, alright. Vanguard, 15k. using skill. Skill of Vanguard, Soul Charging plus power. Yes, Eugene, he has one less card to Persona right with, so letting the attack go through, no guard. Grade 3, no trigger, safe. So here comes one damage check. Yes, critical trigger! All effects to Vanguard. Your remaining rear guard cannot attack now. That's the end of my opponent's turn, it's my turn. I stand and draw. Okay, I'm gonna ride for my right deck, Electro Spartan. And for the right deck cards, let's see. I guess, let's see, I got Ashur-da, Baromagnes, a Perfect Guards, a Sonicer, a Curtis, a Critical Trigger, Freeze Breeze, and Spartan. Okay, then I guess I only got 1 damage, so I'll just hold on to the other cards to call and attack with, and I'll just discard a Critical Trigger, discarding Stem Deviate, right, Electro Spartan. Then let's see. I'm going to call Spartan to the rear guard. Spartan skill, I counterblast 1. And Soul Charge 2. I Soul Charge, a critical, and a Ashur-da, okay. Then, let's see. I guess next up, that should be enough. Going to battle phase. My rear guard Spartan attacks the... No wait, rear guard Spartan attacks the rear guard. Scout Terra, 10k. Alright, the rear guard is down. Zap. And now, Vanguard to Vanguard, 10k. Drive check. Yes, critical trigger. All effects to Vanguard. 2 damage to my opponent. There we go. And 2 damage. First, Perfect Guard, nice, no trigger. And second check. Yes, double Perfect Guard. No trigger, safe. That's the end of my turn, my opponent's turn. He rides the grade 3, Eugene. And skill of Randor, he draws a card and calls the grade 3 Baromagnes, okay? Let's see. Then I'm going to guard with Ashur-da from my hand. I'm going to use its second skill to stock up my soul, so guarding with Ashur-da, 5000 shield, attack block, and then Ashur-da's skill after leaving the Guardian Circle, going to soul, and there we go, back into the soul. Digno skill, he goes into the hand, powers of the rear guard, okay. Vanguard to Vanguard, okay, here it comes, 23,000 power. I gotta let some damage through to get some counter blasts, so no guard, take the hit. Twin drive, first check. No, not a critical trigger. He gives all effects to his Vanguard, okay. And the second check, what is it? No trigger, safe, okay. Here comes 2 damage for me, I guess. And here it comes. Bang, 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 boom, and ow. Damage check first. Perfect guard, not good. Second check. No, not a critical trigger. Wasted a trigger. All effects the Vanguard against. Trigger effects wasted. Okay. And I guess that's it for my opponent's turn. It's gonna be my turn now. I stand and draw. I drew a Selfish Engraver. Okay, then I'm gonna ride for my right deck, Master of Gravity, Baromagnes, and for the right deck cost, let's see. Okay, I'm gonna... this is a tough choice. I guess let's see, I got Baromagnes, Perfect Guard, Deep Sonicer, Curtis, Freeze Breeze, Stem Deviate, and Selfish Engraver, okay. I got Spartan in the front row, so I should hold on to the Perfect Guard and Baromagnes, and I should use Curtis' skill to Soul Charge, so my option is to, I guess, send either Freeze Breeze or Selfish Engraver. Then I guess, let's see. First, I'm going to discard... Discard Selfish Engraver. No, I'm gonna discard the Freeze Breeze. No, I'm discarding the Critical Trigger to ride Baromagnes. There we go. I activate Spartan Skill. I add 1 card from my hand to the Soul. I add Deep Sonicer, adding the Soul, and I draw 1 card. I drew a Heal Trigger, not good. Next up, I'm gonna call Curtis to the rear guard. Call Curtis' skill. I Soul Charge 2. Soul Charging, Critical, and Curtis. Okay. Then, alright, next up, I'm going to... let's see. Okay. I'm going to call to the rear guard. Freeze Breeze over to here to support Spartan. Okay, that should be enough. Now going to battle phase. My Vanguard attacks the Vanguard. Skill of Baromagnes, I counterblast 1 and activate effects. I draw 1 card and add power and critical to the Vanguard. I drew a Engraver. Okay. Will my opponent guard? Yep, he double guards. 43, 2 to pass. Alright. Twin Drive, first check. No trigger, okay. And second check, come on. Yes, critical trigger, just what I needed. I'm giving all effects to Curtis. There we go. The attack is blocked. And now boosted by Freeze Breeze. Spartan attacks the Vanguard, 18k. Ah, he guards! Okay. Zap, the attack is blocked, and now Curtis attacks the Vanguard, 23k, 2 crits. He guards, not good. Okay, attack blocked. And that's the end of my turn, my opponent's turn. My opponent's going to Persona Right Eugene, oh no. He draws, adds power, and calling Brachio. His Vanguard skill, he retires my Curtis, okay? Adding more power. Skill of Icarus, he's going to retire another rear guard. He retired my Spartan, not good. Here comes his Vanguard skill. He's gonna Soul Blast 5, Superior Call up to 4 cards. Whoa, a full formation. Yes, his over trigger and 2 triggers are out of the deck. And a perfect guard. Lucky me. Here comes the rear guard attack, okay. Then I'm going to let this one go through. No guard. Out. Damage check. Perfect guard, not good. No trigger. Now my opponent's rear guard attack. Okay, that's 30k. Then I'm going to guard and guard with 1 critical trigger and 1 selfish engraver, 33k. There we go. Gonna save these 2 to build up my soul whip. So guard, the attack is blocked. And now finally the Vanguard attack, boosted by over trigger, 38k. I'm going to perfect guard with Recusal Hate. Recusal Hate skill, I'm going to perfect guard. First up, let's see, I should hold on to Baromagnes to Persona Right with, and I'm going to hold on to Engraver and Spartan to attack with, so I'll discard the heal trigger, the perfect guard with. And there we go, Twin Drive for my opponent, first check. No trigger, Brachio, and second check, what is it? No trigger, but no, Eugene, he can Persona Right next turn. Alright, the attack is blocked. And now it's my turn, I stand and draw. Alright, I drew a Keely Lutely, alright, then I'm going to Persona Right, Master of Gravity, Baromagnes. Here it comes. Persona Ride, Baromagnes. I draw a card, add power, a front trigger, not good. Then next up, I'm going to call... Let's see, I call Selfish Engraver to the rear guard. Over here. Okay, and then I'm gonna call Electro Spartan to the rear guard over here. Spartan skill, I Counter Blast 1 and Soul Charge 2. I Soul Charge, Baromagnes and Ashur-da. Okay, then. Alright, that should be enough, so let's head on to the battle phase. Alright, then. Boosted by Freeze Breeze, my Selfish Engraver attacks the Vanguard, 28k. Will the attack go through? Yes, the attack goes through, 1 damage, and Darkness, boom, damage check. Yes, no trigger, safe. I activate my Rear Guard Engraver skill, attack hit, I Soul Charge 1, Soul Charge, and then I activate Freeze Breeze's skill, Counter Blast 1, Soul Charge, and Counter Blast 1. I draw 2 cards. Okay. Then finally, Engraver skill into the soul, Counter Charge 1, Counter Charge. And now Spartan attacks the Vanguard, 20k. The attack goes through and zap. Damage check from my opponent. He gets a no trigger, safe. Alright. And now my Vanguard attacks the Vanguard. Skill activated. I Counter Blast 1 and I activate all effects. I draw a card, plus power and critical the Vanguard, all rear guards into the soul, and I call 2 new ones. Yes, I drew a Baromagnes. Then I call 2 new cards. Okay, I'm going to call... What would be a good choice? Let's see. I guess I'll call... Let's see, my opponent has 5 damage, so he's gonna guard everything. I'll call Deep Sonicer and another Deep Sonicer, calling 2 Deep Sonicers to the rear guard. 1 and 2. Call. Skills activated. Bonus power. 38,000 power. My opponent perfect guards. Okay. And he blocks the attack. He discards Brachio. Okay. Twin Drive. First check. Yes. Critical trigger. Just what I needed. I give all effects to my right side Deep Sonicer. And now, second check. What is it? Yes! Front trigger! Power to the front row! Alright! And now, my attack is blocked. My Deep Sonicer from the right attacks the Vanguard. 58,000 power, 2 criticals! Yes, the attack goes through! And slash! Damage check first. No trigger, alright! 6 damage, I win! That wasn't too bad. The deck worked pretty well, so I got win, double trigger, attack 50,000 or more power, perfect guarded, did a Persona right, 6 turns passed, did a superior call, retired 5 or more opposing units, and drew 3 or more times in 1 turn. I got 2300 VP, total 58 VP, press A to go next, and leaving the fight, returning to fight menu. Hear me on the fight menu, leaving the fight menu, back to main menu. To edit deck, and okay, so pretty much finish building the deck, explain the cards effects in front of you, and test out the deck in front of you. And with that, that's just about all the time we have for today. So first off, I want to say thank you to the viewers watching today's video, and to please stay tuned for more videos I plan to upload again in the near future. I also hope you all show support by liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing to my videos and channel. And with that, I say goodbye and see you all soon.